he was deserving of the award, first of all.
If you're one of these upper echelon athletes, one of these you're winning gold medals all the time, is 2025 the year for you to try something different? Was Sydney the right pick for the track athlete of the year, or you think someone else is more deserving of it?
I'm not mad at it because she broke her own world record twice, but if I were a voter, I would have voted for Julian Alfred.
No, I don't think Sydney should win the Athlete of the Year award here. I mean, she didn't even win. I don't think she even won it for USA, right? Wasn't it Gabby Thomas? Speed is fast. He's not Noah Lyles fast, world-class fast, but he is fast.
When I found out that this was a thing and I found out the $sign at the end of it, it was instant motivation. Yes, this is what we need.
What are your thoughts on I guess him saying he can save track and not field, and I guess that reaction that we got from two of the biggest names in track and field right now as well? Welcome back to another episode of the Track World News Podcast. We are finally back, season 4, episode 1. With our esteemed co-host, Mr. Noah Williams, making the return. Noah, how you doing today, brother?
Feeling good, brother, man. Blessed and highly favored, bro. How are you doing? I'm excited to be back, bro. You feel me? It was a long off season, so I'm excited to be back. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and another really exciting year of track and field up ahead of us, man. But how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Feeling rested up. For those that don't follow me on my personal pages and stuff, C_weights28 for those that want to. I got promoted recently in my regular day-to-day job, which was nice, and been spending some time with family, which is pretty cool. And just enjoyed Thanksgiving, getting ready for the holidays coming up, and then track and field is back. It feels it's another year, man. But how about you? How things been going for your off season and everything?
Things are going great, man. Like I said, I'm blessed, bro. Just really focusing on me, focusing on my health, my faith, my family, all the things that are really important to me. In the off season, I think we get a lot of time to kind of decompress and focus on other things. So, I think it's been a good season of growth for myself personally, in a lot of different ways. So I'm really grateful for that, man. But we back though. We back.
There we go. Did you go back to New York for Thanksgiving, or you stay down with your pops in Florida?
I didn't. Yeah, I stayed down here with my dad. I made a couple dishes, whipped up some mac and cheese, little stuff like that. It was cool, man. It's cool. And I've been picking up a lot of chess. So me and my dad been playing chess almost every day.
Okay. So if you would you say you're the best chess player in track and field then right now?
Absolutely, bro. No question, dude. I'll be on chess.com. If y'all want to, if you want to smoke with me in chess.com, if you guys think you're good, just go ahead, DM me, INTL Noah. Y'all know the at. But yeah, we could get some chess going. I think I'm the best in the sport for sure.
There we go. We'll have to hit up Michael Johnson, see if we can get a chess 400, run a 100, do chess, run another 100. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we'll have the 4x chess. Who knows? But awesome stuff. A lot of things to go over and talk about when it comes to track and field. We had some breaking news and updates with Grand Slam track. Some comments from Michael Johnson about can he save track and field? We'll talk about that. We have a 16-year-old setting the world by storm by the name of Gout Gout. And then we've got some awards that we can go over for last year's best athletes in the track and the field. Let's jump right into it. Well, I guess we should start with where we left off from last season. So the awards from last year, I guess we can primarily stay with the running ones that we had. For the men, we saw Letsile Tebogo, who was awarded the men's track athlete of the year. Obviously 200-meter champion, drop in, what was it? I think the 4th fastest time ever in the 200, I believe, something like that. There was a lot of discussion on who should get it. What are your takes on Letsile Tebogo bringing home this award for the track athlete of the year?
Yeah, I think he was deserving of the award, first of all. Congratulations to him. He earned it. And outside of, the Olympic champ it is for the year. Like the award is for the year. So I think he did have the best season out of anybody on the track. I think obviously Noah Lyles had a case, Grant Holloway had a case, Rye Benjamin had a case. Those were like my other guys that I thought were in contention for the award. But I mean, he went sub 20, I think 9 times, which is incredible. Incredible way to put that together. He had a great Diamond League season as well. And he was in the final for the 100. I mean, he placed 6th, got the silver in the 4x4. So the way he was able to collect medals, win Diamond League meets, and just be consistent all year, like he was the most deserving guy. So, I'm not mad at it at all. Really happy for him.
That 4x4 leg at the end was one of my favorite races of the year, where he was behind by a lot, and came back. I remember Rye Benjamin was like in a podcast. I think it was like Club Shay Shay. And he was in the podcast with them, and he was like, "Bro, I heard when I saw that Tebogo was behind me, he was like, I knew I had to get out because this kid's gonna like hawk down." And he gave him a run for his money. Like that was an impressive race to be known as like you're a 200 guy and going down to the one, like to have the range from 100 to 400 where you could be a medal contention for all of those is like crazy impressive, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It just speaks to his talent level, man. He's like a one of one guy right now in the sport. I mean, I haven't seen anybody with that capability. I know Bolt has done some things when he was younger with like some 45s and stuff like that for him, but I think his split was like 43-0 or 43-1 or something absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, man, the dude is immensely talented, and he's only like 21 or maybe 22 years old. So it might be a few more athlete of the years in his future, man.
Yeah, no, that was an impressive race. And then, of course, we can't forget the 300-meter world record he set indoors as well. I mean, like it's he put through a great season for him. And yeah, like you said, I would say Grant Holloway was up there with potential. I mean, he had the world record indoors in the 60, maintains his undefeated streak in the 60. I believe no, he was not undefeated in the 110s, but he put together the fastest time in the world. I think the second fastest time ever in the 110 hurdles. What's hurting him is that he's not able to get on these relays. Like that's what's the biggest thing, that he's not like, if Grant can get on some of these relays, then I think it'll be even better of a case for him to be winning some of these things. But he's got to try to find a way to get on some of these 4x4s, then maybe it's like, all right, I got a 4x4 medal on top of these indoor world records and undefeated seasons, maybe. But with how Tebogo's looking, like it's going to be hard to catch that man.
Definitely going to be hard. Now, but to touch on with Grant, if he were to run an open 400, like what would you give him? Like, what do you think ballpark, he could run?
That's a good question. Like right now, I mean, I guess it would depend a little bit on if going into this year, if he's like, my goal is to win the 110 hurdles and to be on the 4x4 for Team USA. If he goes into that being this is what he wants to do, then I think we can see a pretty special time. If he's going in saying like not like just doing regular stuff, like he wants to do the 110s, obviously I'm not too sure how great that time's going to be. I'd say like somewhere in the 44s, maybe
Okay.
like low for like I don't know, something like that. I mean, this is your race. What do you think he could be
For
going
sure.
for?
I mean, I'd probably give him somewhere in the ballpark of like 45-2, maybe like anywhere in the range from like 44-9 to 45-8 ish. Anywhere in that radius is what I would expect of him. I mean, hey, like he's a competitor, he's super talented, so I mean, I wouldn't put a cap on him. I don't know all, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'd put him somewhere in that range.
Is that for a split or an open four?
For an open, maybe for a split, he probably could get down to like a 44 or something. Maybe he could shock me and prove me wrong and run 43. Like I said, I can't put a cap on anybody, but it'll just be interesting to see because we're so accustomed to seeing him hurdles, 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 hurdles. If he hopped in an open race like a 200 or 400 just to show the world, like, okay, like I might hurdle, but this is what I can do. Kind of similar to what he was doing back when he was at Florida.
Yeah, those Florida days, I mean, he was doing long jump. He won the 60, the open 60, I think, one year.
Yeah,
And I think he even ran the 100 at some point. Like because I mean, in high school he did the pentathlon. Like he's got the athletic talent. He was recruited to play football at a college, at a high school as well. Like obviously he can do it. It's just like, what are you going to put your mind to? And I think 2025, like, if in my mind, it feels like the year that if you're one of these upper echelon athletes, one of these, like, you're winning gold medals all the time, is 2025 the year for you to try something different? Like, what do you think? Do you think, like, if you're one of those top dogs, is it, hey, try something new in 2025?
absolutely, absolutely. Like it's time for a challenge maybe for some of these people. Like Sydney is another example of that. Like Grant, obviously, people who have been super dominant in their event. Maybe it's they're looking for a new challenge. Want to hop in a
Yeah.
different event for a little while and put their mind in a different place.
Yeah, that's what was it? A thing. I mean, Mo, what was it, 2 years ago? I think she did when she did the 1500, and
Yeah.
I couldn't remember who it was. There was one woman that was like, "Yeah, you can't just hop in a 1500 and like think you're gonna make the team." And then she hopped in the 1500 and made the team, and she was the first lady out. And then a thing Mo was like, "No, I'm not gonna run the 15. I'm only gonna run the 8 to let her get into the world championship." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's that's cold. Like the only reason you're in the world championship this year is because I'm letting you, and you were talking trash beforehand. I was like, that's cold as hell. That's cold as
That's a
hell.
crazy flex. I didn't actually know that story. That's a crazy flex for sure.
Oh yeah, to be like talking trash and then that person beats you and then they let you in.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's nice.
bad. But
That's
you
nice for
said
sure.
Sydney McLaughlin. So Sydney McLaughlin, she won the women's track athlete of the year. There's a lot more controversy, I would say, around this one. Like there are a lot of people that said that whether it was, excuse me, Julian Alfred should have won it. Gabby Thomas should have won it. Sifan Hassan should have won it. Like there was a lot of people that said someone else should have potentially gotten this. Where do you lay on, was Sydney the right pick for the track athlete of the year, or you think someone else more deserving of it?
I'm not mad at it because she broke her own world record twice, but if I were a voter, I would have voted for Julian Alfred. Um, indoor world champ leading to Olympic champ over 100. I believe she got the silver in the 200. Um, Absolutely incredible season, Diamond League champ as well. Like it's the season award in my opinion. It's not the Olympic reward. Like or award, sorry.
Mhm.
So if I'm looking at the entire season, indoor, outdoor, everything included, Julian honestly is like like she clears Sydney pretty comfortably in my eyes. But what do you think?
Yeah, like that's where it's hard for me to pick because I don't know, like, what are you judging this off? Like what does the award mean? Like it's similar in the NBA, like when they're like the NBA MVP award. What does it mean to be the MVP? What does it mean to be the MVP in football? Like what we notice is for pretty much the NBA MVP is who's the best player on one of the top 5 teams in the league. That's pretty much who it is. Does that mean you're the most valuable player? Probably not. Like, maybe the person that's the most valuable to their team is probably the player that is the best player on a really crappy team that just barely made it to the playoffs. That if they're not on the team, then that team is trash. Like, then it's like the athlete of the year award. Are you saying who had the best moment in track and field? Is it who has the best season? What does it mean to have the best season? Like, do you have to have a certain amount of races ran? Like, it's hard for me to determine because they haven't like came out and said what it may be. Is it just like who's the greatest athlete each year? Then yeah, you'll give it to the same person every year because the same people tend to be the best athletes for a couple seasons. So, but to answer your actual question, no, I don't think Sydney should win the athlete of the year award here. I mean, she didn't even win. I don't think she even won it for USA, right? Wasn't it Gabby Thomas? So how do you win the athlete of the year in the entire world? You're the greatest field athlete or track athlete in the entire world. but Gabby Thomas is, but you don't even win it for your own nation. I don't know. Sounds a little
Right.
weird to me. So I think that Julian Alfred was probably deserving of it in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, this is all speculatory here, but I mean, if I had to say why they gave Sydney the edge, it's kind of like from an imaging perspective. And I don't always want to go there, but like, everybody kind of understands the image of Sydney McLaughlin, sorry. And I think that kind of puts her over the top sometimes, whether it's, a good thing or a bad thing, but the marketability and the imaging part of it, I think it plays a role, especially for her.
Hmm. Did you like? Did you even know that this award show was going on? Did you know
No.
that this thing was happening?
No,
Like,
the only reason why I knew it was a thing in the first place is because Noah, I believe he's won some awards with them in the past, and
yeah,
he kind of told me how it goes. So I knew it's like around this time of the year, but it's never anything that like I have my calendar marked for. Like OMG, the World Athletics yearly reward show is on. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, like that. I think that speaks to something of we're two people that are probably one percenters of knowing track and field. Like you're literally in the sport as an athlete in the sport. I'm covering the sport in depth, and I found out that the award show was happening through an Instagram post of World Athletics saying congratulations Sydney McLaughlin. I was like, wait a minute, this happened today. Like there's nothing, it's not on TV anywhere. It's not like the Heisman Award. Like even though like I have my gripes with the Bowerman thing of the fact that it's at the end of the year and we'll have an entire college football season and then they will give out their Heisman Trophy winner and we still won't give out an award from the year before. I digress, but at least they have like a show with it, and it
Yeah.
seems like it's more of a big thing where I had no idea like this World Athletics Award was really happening.
No. And another thing with the Bowerman, like you're gonna get year-long updates. The preseason watch list, the midseason watch list, the May watch list, the April watch list, the semifinals. There was no, you know, draw to this at all. I mean, I'm sure it's still a legitimate award. Um, there's money to be made with these awards for sure, but yeah, it's just not televised or publicized the way it should be. It's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, and it makes it so because like these are awards, I'm sure that the people that are involved want these to be a part of the athlete's legacy. But if I like in basketball, you're going to talk about how, this player has 4 MVPs. Like that's why they're, top 3 in the world. This is why LeBron James is the greatest basketball player in the world. He's got these amount of MVPs, blah blah blah. Nobody ever talked like literally the only 2 things that people talk about in track and field for your legacy are the amount of like Olympic championships, Olympic gold medals slash maybe Olympic medals you have, and then what your personal best is. That's it. Like I'm sure they're trying to make this thing become a thing of like, whoa, you won the Athlete of the Year award. People just don't care. And I think if you want people to care, you have to make it seem like you guys care. And I don't feel it if you're doing it 5 months later at a random time. And I mean, you don't even have all of the award. Like Mondo Duplantis wasn't even there, and he won an award. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know, man. It doesn't seem serious to me.
Yeah, very unserious. But I mean, nonetheless, the athletes who did win, they deserve, praise. So you want to delve into the rest of the winners here?
Yeah, let's go to some of the field, our field winners. So Mondo Duplantis winning in the field athlete of the year. LSU cat. I mean, so obviously you got a little. You're probably happy with the pick, but what do you think with having our boy Mondo winning this bad boy?
Yeah, there's no question. There's no competition there. I don't know how many times he broke his record this year. Was it three? Three times?
I think it was four,
Okay,
3 or 4. Yeah,
even more than
three
what
or
I
four.
thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's really no debating that one, and really happy for Mondo to do it again. As an LSU guy for sure.
Yeah, no, he's unstoppable. Like the dude is it's really the Field Athlete of the Year award at this point, based on the talent of individuals. I think it's between Mondo and Ryan Krauser, really.
Yeah.
And it depends on who's having a year. And Ryan, while he was dominant, he didn't have as dominant of a year as he's had in the past. He's had a couple injuries. I think it was like a quad injury or whatever it may have been. It's something. Maybe it was pec. I can't remember. But he had some injuries going on, so he didn't throw it as far, but he still beat everyone. And so it's really just Mondo versus Ryan right now. I don't see many other people in the field on the men's side of things that are putting up those names or putting up those, competition. So I think it was, pretty cut and dry for him. That dude's unstoppable. It's him versus the world record at this point. Like, I wonder if he's going to try something new. Like, hey, let me just do a different event. I don't know. He did triple jump back in high school. Maybe we'll do that. But eventually, like, he's just putting these world records. It's nuts for him, man. It's crazy. Then we have got, for the women's field events, it was the high jumper. I'll butcher the hell out of her name. Yaroslava Machukin out of Ukraine. Sorry, I definitely butchered it. I got to see her at the Milrose Games this past year. She broke the world record for the high jump. I think it was one of the longest standing world records ever. I think that she ended up breaking. So, like, extraordinarily impressive. And she's very consistent and has been really dominant for a long period of time, despite only being like 22 or 23. She's just like crazy talented. And on the women's side of things, I think it was between like her, maybe Tara Davis, if you have somebody. I think maybe Valerie Allman you might have, but I think, that's a good pick too, because none of them really broke the world record, I don't think, obviously.
Yeah, that was her performances were incredible. And like I think it was like a 30 or 40-year-old world record that she broke, you know what I mean? So, and she shitted on my high jump PB from high school. I think I jumped like 197 in high school or something like that. I think she jumped what, 216 or something? Like
Yeah, man. Let's see if I can find it on her if they posted on this thing. But yeah, no, she jumped 210. World
210.
record was set. Yeah, she cleared 210 to improve the world record before winning and she won Olympic gold. So yeah, no, she's just like crazy, crazy talented. So then the last one would go to the overall athlete of the year, which was Sifan Hassan, because it was Letsile Tebogo for the men, Sifan Hassan on the women. She's someone that it's just crazy how the range that she's got. Like, she's running literally the 1500, so less than a mile, to the marathon at the Olympics and dominating in all of them. And like, she was asked one time, like, why do you do this? And she's like, I'm actually insane and I don't know why I do this, because this hurts all the time. And it's just crazy. Like, to have that range, the speed of the 15 to the endurance of the marathon at the best level, like, yeah, she's deserving of it. She's easily, I feel, the best woman athlete of the year this year.
She one of them ones, bro. Like when I was reviewing her stats from the season, like that's some of the most impressive stuff I've ever seen from any athlete. Like even I can even go outside of track and field like that to have that range, like you said, 1500. What was it, 5K and the marathon? She
And
won
yeah,
the
yeah,
marathon.
crazy.
Yeah, like that's absolutely incredible. So I'm glad that they got it right with this award and awarded her praise. Um, yeah, like incredible season. You feel me? Like that's just it's amazing.
Yeah, no, she's dope. One of the people, because I remember back, I think it was the World Championships, maybe, when she fell and lost her shoe, and she still came back and qualified in like the 15. It's like, how do you fall in like with 2 laps left and come back? Like, yeah, she's one of them ones, bro. Like, it's she's got some immense
Yeah, it's
talent,
just that
immense talent.
simple, bro. She one of them ones.
There you go. Then let's go to, I guess, some social media stuff that's been taking the world by storm. So we saw Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. That was recently. And then now we've got IshowSpeed, biggest streamer in the world, calling out Noah Lyles, running the 100, or they ran the 50 against him, and then Noah was in a Mr.Beast YouTube video racing against some random dude. I mean, that was at your home track. Did you know this was going down, or you find out at the same time like the rest of us?
So I found out the day of that MrBeast was gonna be there.
Mhm.
Now the speed thing, the way that unfolded, it was kind of like super impromptu, right? So somebody was on Instagram Live. I think it might have been Noah or MrBeast, whatever, and they were like, "We should call Speed. Like Speed lives in Florida. We should call him." So they called Speed right on live, and they put him on the spot, like, "Hey, bro, like let's race. Pull up. We're gonna do it. You know, I think it was $10,000 for charity, whatever the context was." But
hundred
Speed was
thousand
like, "All right,
dollars. Yeah,
okay, yeah. Wait, how much?
100K,
100K,
100
right? I
racks.
missed the
Oh yeah.
zero." So Speed pulled up in his Urus same day, hopped out of the car, and got on the line with Noah. I thought it was super cool how they got it about, and it's like super dope how Noah has like integrated himself into that world, you know, like the fame world, if you want to call it. But what do you think about the actual race? Like, what's your take on the actual race that took place?
Okay. All right. So this is my take on the actual race. Speed is fast. Like, not he's not Noah Lyles fast, world class fast, but he is like fast. Just like, if you were to ask me, like if people were to ask me, like, oh, are you fast? Be like, yeah, I'm fast in the context of regular people. Like if you pulled up any regular person off the street and asked them to race me, like I'm beating them. If anyone in my office was like, yo, we want to race you, I'm like, I'm toasting you, but I'm not actually fast. Um, Speed is like fast for like, some of these athletes too. I saw he ran a 40 at the Super Bowl last year in like 4.3 in socks. Like that's fast. Like that's not something that's, that anyone can do. And he's an athlete, he's doing backflips and everything. And so it wasn't like a super close race, but it was, I think, a lot closer than it looked like Noah might have thought. Like he got out well. Like he did not like Speed got out well on Noah. And there was a second, that first like 10 meters, I'm like, oh my God, is Speed actually gonna beat Noah? Like for a half second, I was like, Speed might actually beat him. And then I saw him look over. I'm like, okay, he's done. It's over with. And maybe if it was like a 40-yard dash, maybe it's a little bit closer. But he's got some speed, and then he obviously started like messing around. He was high stepping, and once he knew he won it, and people are like, "Oh, it was so close. He almost beat him." He didn't almost beat him. Like Noah was clearly messing around at the end there. Um, I don't know about if he was at 20% speed. I'm sure you might know a lot more than I would if that was 20%. I'm not too good on the eye, but it was he's quick. Like I'd like to see him in a couple more races against some sprinters for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like Speed is fast. He got my respect. He damn near made Noah shit a brick. I like Speed went back over the race on the stream and like he was like, look at Noah's face. Look at his face. Like he is nervous right here. And he like, I mean, I've been around Noah every day for some years now. You know what I mean? Like he kosher. He can keep it cool. But I saw a little bit of that composure break a little bit. You know what I mean? That's just what I saw. So it was impressive run by Speed. I was just more so happy to have that attention on the sport. You know what I mean? Like it's 2024, about to be 2025. The way that this sport grows isn't the same way it would grow in 2014. You know what I mean? Like we're in a completely different era. With the use of streaming and YouTube and monetization, all of those things. So for Noah to capitalize on that, man, hey, that's a win for Noah. Even if he lost the races, damn near still a win for Noah, which he didn't, of course. But I was just happy to see it, man. Just seeing the sport in a different light that way.
Yeah, and if you get Speed because his form was trash. He was not.
Cool.
He was running like a soccer player. You could tell he was running like a soccer player. If you get that guy some form, like I mean, he was on like these talk shows saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make the Olympics. You ain't gonna make the Olympics. You ain't even gonna. I don't even think you're gonna make the Olympic trials like in the 100. But like you could do some. You could get pretty fast. Like, what do you think if he committed to running the 100 this year? what do you think he could potentially run in the 100 if he was like, yo, I'm gonna legitimately try?
Probably like a 10.5, 10.4.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
Probably like 10
right
5,
around
10
there.
4. Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Now we got to see this Tyreek Hill thing, man. I know we got they're saying it's going to happen next year, which I'd be looking forward to that. That's the next good challenger, but like you said, like he's getting into this mainstream right now. And I put out on Twitter not too long ago where I was saying, Usain Bolt was obviously the best sprinter that we've had. I think what Noah Lyles right now is doing, we haven't seen someone capitalize off of their Olympic gold into the mainstream like we've seen with Noah Lyles. I mean, he had that post, like he had his social media team post all of the, the highlights of him winning the second after he won the Olympic medal. Like he was ready for that. Like he did like those 5 or 6 talk shows. He's in a Mr.Beast YouTube video. He's racing IshowSpeed. He's about to race Tyreek Hill next year. And I'm sure he got this sprint documentary where he's the star of the documentary. And I'm sure there's so many other things that are, going to come to fruition that we don't know about yet. Like we haven't seen someone in this public eye within track and field. Like even Sha'Carri didn't do this. Like she had a lot bigger fan base of people that loved watching her, but she didn't like interact with, she's not in YouTube videos with people. Like she wants to keep more to herself, but this is something we haven't seen in track in a long time where you got the fastest man in the world and, they're, taking part of all these things.
Yeah, facts. That's facts.
So yeah, like he's just putting in, getting into the mainstream media that we haven't seen before. And I mean, IshowSpeed said he called out he wants to race Sha'Carri Richardson next. We'll see if that that ends up happening. But I don't hate, seeing all these new faces in track. Like I know a lot of boxing fans hated seeing Jake Paul in boxing. How do you feel about seeing some of these streamers or other people trying to get involved in track? Are you like this is making a mockery of the sport, or are you like I like seeing more eyes on it?
Yeah, I'm 100% behind it. I'm completely behind it. And kudos again to Noah for being so open to these challenges and doing different things, and being calculated with it as well. I think the only other person that I can think of in the sport that really integrated themselves into mainstream culture was Carl Lewis. But Carl Lewis did it in a completely different era, you know? So for present day, modern day, like him, hate him, indifferent, Noah is definitely the talk of the sport. He's positioned himself that way. It's intentional and it's admirable, honestly. But like I said, no matter how you feel about him, it's just something that you have to acknowledge, man.
Yeah, it's going well. It's bringing more eyes to it and making things more exciting. Big thing that we still have regarding Noah is that he's still probably one of the biggest names on the men's side of track that is not in Grand Slam track yet. I know they're trying to figure out ways to go through it. They just announced tickets are on sale. By the way, if you would like to get a chance to win a pair of tickets to one of the Grand Slam events, we're doing a giveaway on Track World News on Instagram. Go over, give us a follow, like the post, comment three of your friends at them, and then what meet you would like to go to. We're going to be doing the drawing next Friday, and we'll post the results of who's going to be going. So someone will be getting a pair of tickets to one of the 4 events. So go through and do that. But yeah, what are
And wait, wait,
you?
wait, 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 wait. We can't just brush over that. We can't just brush over that. That's huge, y'all. You feel me? We doing a giveaway. So let them know what they got to do. They got to do what? They got to follow the
Yeah,
Instagram page first.
follow Track World News. Then you got to like the Instagram post that's there. Then you got to comment with like 3 of your friends. So just at 3 of your friends. And then you've got to say which meet you want to go to. So whether it's LA, Miami, Philadelphia, or Jamaica, you just got to say which one of those you want to go to. We'll be doing a random drawing next week, I think next Friday or Saturday. And then you'll be getting a pair of tickets to one of those meets. So it's giving back to the people, man. Something I'm looking forward to.
That's a beautiful opportunity for y'all. Hey, I would take it if I was you. I'm gonna probably still be in the comments myself. Shoot, I want free tickets.
Shoot.
But nah, man,
Yo,
it's monumental. This the first ever Grand Slam season, and y'all got an
mhm.
opportunity to get free tickets. You feel me? So y'all go ahead, follow them 3 steps right there, and you good.
That's it. That's it. No, ain't nothing but a thing. And so we finally got the announcement for all of the Grand Slam meets. I guess they're still going with a few more athletes and everything. There's a lot to talk about about Grand Slam track, but what are your feelings right now on how it's shaping out to be, and what it's looking like right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on it from two sides. The first side I'm gonna speak on it from is as an athlete, right? When I found out that this was a thing, and I found out the dollar sign at the end of it was like instant motivation. Like, yes, this is what we need. I don't care if it's only a select few people that can make it in there. That's fine. That's something for an athlete to work towards. That's something for a high school athlete, talking to their parents like, Dad, I want to be a professional athlete to run track. Well, son, there's no money in that. We'll look at this infrastructure now, Dad. You know what I mean? For a college athlete, same thing. For a professional athlete trying to get more money in, same thing. It's just a huge opportunity with a lot of eyes. I'll be interested to see the networking deals, how they're going to be streamed and whatnot. But that dollar sign, man, it looked pretty. It looked pretty. You feel me? So, winning one of those meets is more than a lot of people in the sport making an entire year. So, it is definitely a significant thing. So that's my take as an athlete, and then as a fan. I think it'll be something really fun for the fans to engage with as well. Super competitive meets. It seems like the lineup is what like kind of consistent, like throughout
Yeah,
the
they just
throughout
dropped their
the
lineup. Yeah, of what they're
throughout the
doing. Yeah.
spring. So it's just more opportunity for fans to see and watch. The Diamond League circuit is really scattered. It's not as easy to stream. It's not as easy to watch. The Olympics only come around once every 4 years. So this is going to be an environment that's really competitive and really elite for fans to dial in with. And the marketing rollout already has been really good. The social media rollout has been really good. So, hey, I'm behind Michael Johnson on that one. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things he said and done, but just my take on the league in itself, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm a fan for a couple reasons. A few, and I'll be honest. Some of these are very selfish reasons. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like one, I am from Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia. I am a 10-minute bike ride to to Franklin Field. Super selfish reason why they're coming to Philly. I was so excited for that. We have the high school championship, high school national championship. I think it's the New Balance high school national championship that's here, and then we've got Penn Relays, two meets, and we have one of the most historic tracks in the world with Franklin Field. Like it's a big facility, and it's an awesome facility. Now it's unfortunate that the 400-meter track itself is, it's a little bit smaller, so I think that's why we don't have larger competitions here, because it's technically 390 meters, which is unfortunate. But I digress. And so I'm selfish that it's coming to Philadelphia, and we haven't seen one of these things in a while. It's usually always New York City if it's in the Northeast. So I'm excited for that. Another thing, still on the little wider scale, one thing I was nervous about, because a while ago, probably in like 2022, I remember Michael Johnson saying like, "Hey, we need to do a circuit in the United States and have track and field just be in the U.S." And then when they announced this and that was way before anything with Grand Slam track. And then when they announced Grand Slam track and they said that it's going to be international, I got real nervous. I was like, do not do the Diamond League and have something in another country all over the world, because it's like you can be the jack of all trades, but you're the ace of none. So it's like you're not going to have one single great media coverage because you're all over the world. And then when they announced that they were no longer going to be able to go to London because there was some issues, I was like, that is the best thing that I've ever heard of. Like, do not spread out to now you're over the cross. You're going to be in US, Jamaica, and England. That's going to be way too spread out. Keep it in a single area. If it's all going to be in Europe, fine. of course, I'm selfish and I'd love for it to all be in the US, but having it majority in the US and then one in Jamaica, I'm completely fine with that. I think that's going to be, it's great for the media coverage that it's going to be. It's not going to be TV at 2 p.m., in one place and then, 8 p.m. Like, it's good. I think it's good for the sport to not try to capture the international market, capture a single market. And the athletes that they've got, like, they ain't got just no names. Like, sure, they don't have the Sha'Carri and the Noah Lyles yet, but they still have got, Gabby Thomas just got announced, Sydney McLaughlin's announced. Like, they got Fred Curley, they got, Kenny Bednarik. Like, they got dogs. Like, it's not like they got a bunch of nobodies. Like, sure, you don't have the two people that you really, really want to get, but outside of that, they doing it right. And it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out to. And the tickets are affordable. Like, you can get into the building for $10 or $25. Like, there's some other meets that we saw earlier this year. Like, I think Athlos, to get into Athlos, it was $65. Like, that's steep, bro, just to get into the building. Like, so that's something that I'm liking a lot of, that it's accessible. We know who's competing, we know when they're competing, and I'm excited for it. So I think Michael Johnson's doing it right.
Yeah, that's a good perspective, bro. I didn't even think about it in that way, but I'm really glad you spoke on that. So that's good stuff.
Yeah. Then, talking about some perspective of what he said, he was in the news a little bit. Michael Johnson said that he believes he can save track, but he does not believe that he can save field, the field events. And then we got a reaction from two of the other biggest names in track and field right now, from Tara Davis Woodall, and her husband Hunter Woodall, who's the Paralympian as well as the Olympian, who commented essentially saying, Michael Johnson, we don't need you to save field events. Like, you're essentially, like, you're washed up. Your time's gone. You should have done this a while ago. You haven't done it. They really weren't happy with what Michael Johnson had mentioned when he said he can save track, he can't save field, saying field doesn't need saving. What are your thoughts on, one, the I guess him saying he can save track and not field, and I guess that reaction that we got from two of the biggest names in track and field right now as well?
Yeah, firstly, I actually agree with Michael Johnson that you can save track, but saving field is a whole nother conversation. Um, I was in my training group last week after everything came out, and I just asked them. I said, "Who was the Olympic champion in the women's triple jump?" Crickets. Who was the Olympic champion in the men's 200? Oh, Tebogo. Right? So we are all professional athletes in the sport. And 90% of the people in the group don't know any triple jumpers, high jumpers, only really know American long jumpers, right? So it's clear that field is, not to disrespect it, because it's an incredible thing to be able to do, but it's obviously not as entertaining or appealing to the eye of athletes in the sport and people that's around the world, casual fans. I know there's pole vault conventions, and I know that there's a fan base for that, right? I get that, but it's the scale of it is so much smaller, in my opinion, than the scale of track and track fans and people that come to a track and field meet to strictly watch track events. Now, when I was in school, I went to school with Javon Harrison, one of the greatest American long jump high jumpers, right? And he would jump before we would run, the kind of way that the meets were scheduled. And there would be nobody in the stands for him. Now, he was at the time probably the world leader, NCAA leader, Bowerman winner, like one of the greatest college track and field athletes ever, couldn't draw a crowd. And that's nothing to do with him. He has a polarizing character, entertaining dude, cool look. Every box is checked. But the nature of what he does is not going to draw many people. And Tara Davis, she might be an anomaly. I mean, pretty black girl does long jump. I think more people that follow her on social media identify with her more for that than, this legendary long jumper, which she is great. And I'm not taking away from her talent, but I'm just saying what I think people know her for is more so an image than the talent. That this is the nature of the sport, nature of the beast. So I agree with Michael Johnson. And I'll touch on the Tara and Hunter, what they had to say. I'll let you talk, but I got more to touch on with them.
Yeah. So as a pole vaulter, my hottest take, so it's like I agree a little bit, but not necessarily. Like my take is track does not need field, and field does not need track to be successful. It should not be track and field. Like that is my like I think that trying to sell the two things together is just not successful. Claiming that track and field have similar fan bases and like are, two similar events would be like saying that the like NFL and college basketball or college NFL and college football are the exact same fan bases, or saying that the WNBA and the NBA are the exact same fan bases. Yes, there's some similarities for sure, and you'll have some crossover, but you should be marketing to a very different demographic and different group of people. Like so for track events, like just have track events going on. Like that's going to be good enough. Like having the Grand Slam track, I think, is a great way to advertise it, because when you have to go from you're trying to tell a story, and so you're going, or like, okay, we're going on the track, we're all going about by the same rules, and then we're going to say, okay, now we have to cut to the long jump, and let's look to the long jump. Okay, fantastic. Now it's time to cut to the shot put, and let's go to the shot put. It's incongruent, because with the track events, you're telling the entire story of that one track event within that time period. The 100 meters, they announce the athletes, they have the race, and the race concludes all within, depending on the event, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. A pole vaulting event takes 2 hours to complete. And so it's an incongruent. So you're saying, hey, we're gonna do the track event. We're gonna complete that story. We're gonna start and complete that story, and then we're gonna show you a fraction of one of the stories of the field, and then go back and complete a whole new one. You're just not gonna have that interest for it. So what should we do? Track and field should be completely separate if you want it to be to tell a good story. Take a look at when Mondo did his pole vaulting competition that he has. It was like a freaking nightclub in there. He's got the music blaring. The stadium was sold out. Fans are going crazy. And like the energy is live. Have you ever gone to a street pole vaulting competition before? I don't know if you've ever seen. Yeah, those things are live. There are people that are literally pole vaulting in the middle of like a downtown city, and you have people that are watching, and it's packed. But like to say that it's the exact same thing and to put it in the track, it's not going to be as good. Like with the area that you need for a pole vaulting competition is much smaller. If you put him in a football field, it's gonna seem not as great. Get them close, get them on the track. Have long jump competitions where you get people right up on the long jump pit. I think of when they have when Christian Taylor had his last ever triple jump. They brought everyone onto the field to see him go. And like, that was the most live triple jump that I've seen in a long time. Track does not need field to be successful, and field doesn't need track. Like, start your own thing. Have these competitions like in the middle of streets, downtown areas, where you can make that energy live. But to think that you need it to be together, like, it's foolish. Like we don't need it. Like long jump does not need the men's 100 for the long jump to be successful. We don't need it. So like, that's my take on it. I think that it's ridiculous that we still try to put them together. Like, it clearly doesn't work, and we should not act like it does.
You've been sitting on that for a long time, huh?
Yes, because like I am in the field events. Like, I've gone to these things. I literally was invited to the pole vault summit from UCS, and it is so insane, the energy that it has when you've got, like, if you don't need to try to sell out an 80,000 person stadium, like an 80,000 person stadium that's all watching a track event is not going to have the same reaction to when the pole vaulter, breaks the world record as a 1,000 person stadium that is all watching pole vaults. Like, You know, like it's seen as a side note when it is a side note. Like make it the main thing. Like make the jump the main thing, and then the energy you're going to see is going to be incredible, and you can tell the entire story. It'll be a 2-hour long story. You can tell that. I just hate it. I don't think that track needs field, and I don't think field needs track. So that's my soapbox.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that, bro. And to piggyback on the pole vault convention idea, I did go to University of Akron, which is a very prestigious pole vaulting school who held a pole vault convention every year, and I had to work it maybe once. But the culture and the energy around pole vault specifically is definitely intriguing to me. And if I had to give an analogy to like pole vault culture or like pole vaulters, it's kind of like in grade school when you got the kids that got the light up shoes. Now, not every kid got the light up shoes, but every kid with the light up shoes, they kind of cool, kind of like creative in a sense, kind of like outspoken in a sense, kind of like go with the flow kind of sense. So they like not necessarily like the super bookwormy, nerdy people. They not like the super loud people. It's like the kid with the light up shoes. You know what I mean? They kind of cool with everybody type. So that's kind of like the mystique or the culture of pole vault, but I think it's cool though, you know.
Yeah. And the energy of these events, like when you only have a high, because like they've had at the Diamond League, they usually will host these high jump events before the Diamond League and
Mhm.
in like a center city area. And it feels like a slam dunk contest, like because everyone's eyes are on that one person. Like when Javon Harrison's about to do the high jump, everyone in that entire stadium is watching him. And
Yeah.
just like the slam dunk contest, like there's no other thing you can look at. You can't watch the 400-meter hurdles that's about to go off. You can't watch the shot put. You have to watch this jumper. And you see him jump, clear the bar, go crazy, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, that was lit." And then you get to watch it again 60 seconds later. It feels like a dunk contest. And that's where we got to do it. Like we're a sidebar in the competition when we're trying to do track, like do our own thing, man. But you said you had something
I
on
feel
the
it.
the reaction though. You had any other insight or thoughts on how that reaction went?
Yeah, just with watching like the end, like they was in the car, like the little video they was in the car, talking about Michael Johnson. I mean, first of all, it was kind of like disrespectful to who Michael Johnson is and what he's done. I didn't like that addressing him in that way, especially like what he's launching right now is monumental. Literally hasn't been done in our lifetimes. I mean, American Track League is something, but it's not even
It's a
close
different
to the
thing.
scale of the Grand
Yeah.
Slam. So it's just high key disrespectful for one, and two, like it just didn't feel. It was like disingenuous for real. Like y'all kind of just talking, like y'all just talking just to talk. Like Tara and Hunter, y'all both are anomalies in your fields, like absolute anomalies in your fields. Like nobody draws attention, media the way that you guys do. And it didn't really necessarily come from track. It just kind of came from them creating their own narrative through social media. Like this has been going on since high school, you know? Like y'all built y'all own brand. Y'all built y'all own thing outside of track and field. So y'all speaking and trying to represent the whole field culture, but you guys don't really relate to the rest of the field events. Like I'll draw another name, for example, like a Jasmine Jones, incredibly talented, like stupid talented, is an Olympian in multiple events. Like she wins USA's almost every year in the triple or the long, or is in contention for the long jump. But if we looked at her social media following and the people who know and identify Jasmine Jones versus Tara Davis Woodall, it's completely day and night. So, you know, Tara just, I mean, I think it's hard for when you get that big to speak for a whole body of people because you don't really relate to none of those people. That was kind of my problem with it.
Yeah, it felt like to me it was definitely they saw the post and it was like a reaction, like an immediate reaction. Like there's plenty of things that I'll see happen in my life and everything where it's like my first reaction that I have, if I said what my very first thought was of everything, um I'd be wanting to take a few things back. I've definitely deleted posts where I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, because I was just like, it felt like it was like a much more of like an emotional response to it, of just like
Yeah.
you're gonna tell me you can't save my event? Well, f you. Like, nah, like you didn't do this, you didn't. So it felt more like they probably saw it and then went right to it. And I think like some of the stuff that they commented on, like I see where they're coming from, and I can understand why you're like, but yeah, like you said, I mean, it's hard to put into like saying, "Hey, you're not saving track and field, and your time has come and gone, and we don't need saving." Like he's trying to do his best here, like from a business of develop the track, and it's like if the field doesn't need saving, then the comment shouldn't like doesn't need isn't warranted. Then what Michael Johnson said means nothing. And you're like, and then the comment could be, yeah, like field is in the best position it's ever been, and what he said is just it's irrelevant, and best of luck with your Grand Slam track meet. Um, Versus like obviously, I mean, there has to be some feeling of what he's saying is legit, or you wouldn't have commented on it at all. Like if somebody like there'll be people that are in my comments for Track World News that'll say stuff like that I just don't react to. I'm not even going to comment. I'm not going to mention them right now, because then they're going to know that they feel like they have power. But I've seen a few of them, and I like just I'm not going to react to them. So like this is so outrageously incorrect that you're not even remotely close to being right. I'm not even going to entertain the fact that you're commenting on this. I'm not even going to entertain it. So but the ones that have a little bit of truth to it, it's a little hard for me to maybe not say something back to it. It's like, maybe there's a little truth to what is trying to say. So they have to feel like there's some type of truth to it. It felt like a gut reaction. I mean, hopefully somebody will come out with a Grand Slam field or Grand Slam long jump, and like you said, they're upper echelons. They're 1% of the 1% when it comes to fame. When it with long jump and triple jump, or long jump and the Paralympics, like literally there's no one that big for those two in either of their respective, demographics. I love them. I think they're cool people. I've gotten to interview both of them at several times, but just think it was a little rushed. I mean,
Yeah, I think what you said with emotional response is probably pretty accurate way to put it. In the words of Dom Kennedy, man, you can't make no real decision based on emotion, especially can't make no money. So that's
mhm.
one of the quotes I live by there. I decided to share that little tidbit.
There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Uh, last topic. Let's finish it off. Let's wrap it up. Put a bow on it. Who the hell is this 16-year-old kid from Australia by the name of Gout Gout, who is taking over the sprint world right now, running 10:04s and 20:04s? This is not. You seeing this, Noah? Like this is, and do you think it's as crazy as I might be thinking it is right now?
Yeah, I was just thrown off to see bro is sprinting in the end of November, early December. I was like, first of all, that's throwing me off because the season has completely changed. But for him to be a child, literally an adolescent kid
Dude can't
running,
drive yet. He ain't got his driver's license yet. Like pretty
yeah,
much.
I don't know what he got going on, bro. I don't know if the birth certificate is legitimate, but this 16-year-old is absolutely flying. It's a spectacle in the sport right now. It's fun. I like following this guy and what's coming next. But yeah, it seems like these veterans might be in trouble with these kids coming up, man.
There's a lot of these young cats that are like putting in work right now. I mean, you got Christian Miller, who we had, we did a little interview before, who's putting in work. You got Gout Gout, the 16-year-old kid, that's putting in work. Like there's a lot of just like incredibly, Quincy Wilson, right? 400-meter guy. Like there's a lot of these kids that are like 17, 18 years old that are just like putting in crazy work. Like it feels like we're in that renaissance that where the NBA was just recently, where it's like you got Victor Wembanyama and people are like, who's this alien that's like coming out of nowhere? It's like we're in that renaissance right now where we got kids that are running grown man times at the age of like 14, 15 that we've never seen before. And I bet you it's only going to keep getting younger. We going to see someone break sub 10 that's 15 years old pretty soon. Like it's going to get pretty crazy, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, man. I mean, with technology and coach advancement, it just looks better every year. But this kid is definitely a special talent. I think he signed with Adidas as well. So I'm excited to see this kid's future and what it looks like. But for right now, I'm just having fun spectating and watching, following.
It's big. And so I think something that can be, I'm sure we're going to get the Usain Bolt comparison. They always happen. Every time you're a kid that's 17, 18, 16 that runs fast times, you'll get those Usain Bolt comparisons. So it's like try to keep that media stuff out of the head, because it's going to happen. You know, you're going to see a lot. And when he starts racing these grown men pretty soon, because he's going up against like 15-year-olds and is blowing them out in 100. Interested to see, like, when he gets to this international stage, how that's going to come to fruition. But it's got a lot of exciting track to come through, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great season, man. I got a lot of things that I'm looking forward to for sure.
100%. So we've got I guess we'll probably do some previews, because the season's getting started for our next episode. Our first it's crazy. Some track teams are already racing already. Like, I saw my college is like, yeah, meet day today. I'm like, damn, really? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's already meet day. That is nuts. So we'll start talking about that. I'm sure we might get some way early predictions for the Bowerman, maybe how some other people will do. We'll get some things ready. But hope that you guys enjoyed first episode, season 4 of the Track World News podcast. Thank you for joining. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Go check out our Instagram if you want to get in on that giveaway. And have a good one.